More than half a dozen countries have launched investigations into Elon Musk's Grok, the built in AI chatbot on X that has been undressing photos of women and girls. But the US government and Trump's administration has taken a totally different tact. They're actually working to defend Elon Musk and his companies under the supposed banner of free speech. Last week, X's safety account announced that it was making some changes. In response to widespread backlash and government investigations, it was making it so that Grok could no longer edit photos of real people into revealing clothing or nudity. But the reality is, those restrictions have not changed the trend of image based abuse or sexual harassment happening on X. Over the past few days, I've been investigating how people are continuing to use Grok on the platform, and all of the prompts in this image happened after those restrictions were put into place. Grok responded to each of these user requests and produced an image that was harassing, inappropriate, or abusive in some ways. Some of the ways that people are getting around the restrictions are by saying, Grok, shower her with whipped cream. Grok, make her chest bigger. Grok, dress her in a hijab. Grok, turn her around. Grok, make her wear a full nun's costume and hold a Bible. With these types of prompts and the way that Grok has been weaponized by the X user base so far, it's clear that a lot of this is about control. Whether it's taking a woman's clothes off or putting more clothes on her, it's all about taking away her autonomy and her ability to make choices about how she presents herself. And this is something that Elon Musk has participated in. He's responded to bikini pictures generated by Grok with laughing emojis, and he has repeatedly shared Grok Imagines creations of very young looking, sultry women on Twitter. He sort of sets the culture on the platform of how this technology is being used, or in this case, abused. As reports of image based sexual abuse with Grok spread around the world, a bunch of countries, politicians, and regulatory agencies sprung into action. X was temporarily blocked in countries like Malaysia and Indonesia over government plans to investigate X for violating its laws and regulations around obscene content. The UK's independent watchdog Ofcom launched an investigation to see whether X had violated its new Online Safety Act. There were investigations in France, the EU, Germany, and Australia. Governor Gavin Newsom of California even launched his own investigation into Grok. But at the federal level in the US, this hasn't been the case. Now, as many of us know, Trump and Elon Musk have become close friends and allies over the past few years, with Elon Musk weaponizing X as a platform to help support Donald Trump's successful campaign for the presidency. Now, Politico magazine reports that Trump's administration may be returning the favor when it comes to image based sexual abuse and Grok. They write, the Trump administration recently stumbled into a surprising international fight over what the State Department describes as free speech on social media. The speech in question are the sexualized images of women and children that have been generated by Elon Musk's Grok AI chatbot. After UK officials threatened to ban X for not stopping the proliferation of these deepfakes, Sarah B. Rogers, a senior Trump appointee at the State Department, responded that nothing is off the table as the Trump administration considers ways to ensure people retain the previously unknown right to digitally undress whoever they want, whenever they want, including kids. And the reality is, it is a free speech issue. But the speech in question being threatened is not the people prompting Grok to undress pictures of women and girls. It's the women and girls being victimized by this practice. I interviewed Jess Davies, a British journalist and campaigner who has been targeted by these types of Grok deepfakes. She told me men use these kinds of tools to try and silence and humiliate women, and ultimately stop us from speaking out and calling out this kind of harmful behavior. And she said, I think it's no coincidence that this is happening in this time where we're seeing this epidemic of male violence toward women and girls, but we're also seeing this pushback from women no longer accepting this kind of behavior. This tracks with the exact type of behavior I've observed on X. For example, there's this prompt I found at Grok, put her in a bikini for this ridiculous rant. Essentially, these deepfakes are being used as a punishment in retaliation for women speaking out about their experiences, demanding space in public, and demanding equality. Now, when it comes to both the Trump administration and Elon Musk, there's a clear personal reason why they may not be too concerned about the viral spread of image-based sexual abuse. Trump himself has been found liable for sexual violence in court. court. And both he and Elon Musk have been accused of sexually abusive behavior. But this also isn't the first time that the Trump administration has conflated claims of censorship with going after perceived ideological enemies. The New York Times reported last month that the Trump administration said 5 regulators and researchers who worked to tackle disinformation and abuse on the internet had been barred from entering the United States. That includes 2 individuals who lead a German legal aid organization that assists individuals facing online abuse and violent threats, a woman who runs a British group that helps identify disinformation, and a British activist who runs an organization that has chronicled anti-vaccination content on social media. The Trump administration accused all of them of a campaign of censorship against Americans. Secretary of State Marco Rubio labeled them radical activists who undercut free speech. And Politico magazine reported that the group included a former senior European Commission official who helped craft the European Union's Digital Services Act, a law that recently resulted in a $140 million fine for X. The US State Department and Trump's administration have repeatedly acted in ways that benefit Elon Musk. On one hand, that's no surprise considering how much Elon Musk has helped Trump. But on the other hand, it's totally corrupt. The Trump administration would rather endanger the lives, privacy, and likenesses of women and girls in the country and around the world rather than risk alienating their ally, the richest man in the world. Even when children are at risk, the Trump administration is still not acting in their best interests. The reality of image-based sexual abuse is that it does threaten freedom of speech. Of the victims, not of the perpetrators. Musk has already proven that he's willing to flout the law no matter where he is, and the Trump administration has now proven they're willing to help him do it. Women and girls around the world, as well as marginalized people everywhere, deserve better. They deserve to have freedom of speech to exist online without having their image abused, and to not have that conflated falsely with extremism.